Hey guys, Videosack here. Now, a little, or so, should I say, short while ago, I made a video on, you know, the fact that I'm going PC and I'm just completely abandoning pretty much console, and it's going to be my main, you know, area for gaming for now on. But I'm also am not just going to PC just because it's better. It's also because, and I'll just say this real quick before I start making my statements about them screwing you over your money here. A PC is an actual tool. You see, now with a console, you see, it's only made for certain things. It's only made for apps and video games, and not really much more than that. I have a PS4, and that's just basically what that thing is made for, right? And you are paying $400 for this. Now, nowadays, these consoles are just basically a knockoff version of a PC, it seems like. And the internet on them just fucking sucks. And that is, of course, one of the biggest reasons why I am leaving console. But not just because of that. This is the legit biggest reason why I am quite literally just abandoning console. However, for any of you guys that have a Switch, a Nintendo Switch, I will say that if I was going to have a console at this point, it would probably be that one. Because that console has many exclusives on it, and it is actually a very unique and actually isn't too expensive. However, if I got a Nintendo Switch like my brother did over here, I wouldn't be saving very much money, or probably any. So there's a big chance I'm not going to be getting a Nintendo Switch. But if I were to get a console along with a PC, it would be that console, just so you guys know. However, with Xbox and PlayStation, I am pretty much forever just going to be done and just moving on with PC. And the reason why is because they're screwing you out of your money. And I'll tell you guys how. Now, for instance, if you, of course, acquire a 12-month, fee or annual fee to just so you can play online with your friends on, let's say, GTA 5 or whatever popular game that you're playing right now. And this costs $60 per year. Now, for some of the more poor people, they think that they're saving money by paying $10 a month. Well, if you're paying $10 a month, that's $120 a year. And it's also the same with, like, was it $50 or something? I forget the exact amount. You can correct me if you want. But it was still, it was like plenty of money for like, what, 3 months or something? Like $50 or something? I mean, it was definitely close to that number. And then it's $60 for a year. Now, part of the reason why they're doing this, or should I say the biggest reason, is because they are not making hardly any money on the consoles. So what they're doing with the consoles is that they're bringing down the price to a point that's, again, they aren't making money on them. They're making it to the limits of how low they can bring it down to on their consoles. So the PS5 right now is about $500 at the moment. So I would say retail, realistically, it would probably be closer to $600. I mean, officially, it'd probably be $600 worth if they wanted to make money off of that. However, there's one issue. Not enough people are going to console like they used to, and most people are going to PC, especially from what I saw last year. Not because when I made that video about going PC from now on, there were plenty of people that actually commented on that video stating that they're also going to PC as well this year, that they've had enough of console. And they do agree with me that they're quite literally screwing you over with the internet access. money that you have to pay, and an annual fee at the very least. Now think of it this way. So at first with PSN, it was like $50 a year. And they did that for at least the first few years, and then they switched over to $60 a year, right? Well, the same is going to happen with the next console, probably. And this is just my speculation. I'm thinking it's probably going to happen where they're going to jack it up to $70 a year. It's probably going to happen at this point. Now, the reason why they're doing this isn't just because of the fact they aren't making enough money on these consoles and bring these prices down to the lowest that they can. It is because Sony is not doing as well as it used to be. Now, Sony is still one of the biggest companies on the entire planet. Now, in Japan, they are doing very well. In Japan, they always win, and they are doing very well. However, with the invention of the smartphone, a lot of their products aren't doing very well anymore. Electronics, etc. They're one of the few products that's doing well at all anymore are their TVs. And even those aren't doing very well anymore, especially in America. So not only are they trying to cover the cost of their consoles, they're also trying to cover the cost of everything else. Now, this is the point where they start screwing you over here. You see, with this annual fee, so I would say for a PC, I would recommend that if you're looking for something that's good enough for gaming, don't get a Dell. Just first off, don't get a Dell. You can get a Dell, but I would recommend not getting a Dell for gaming. But get almost any other gaming thing like MSI or something, and pay maybe, I would say at the very least recommendation, $600 to $800. Mostly, I would recommend at the very least $800. Now, it also doesn't even have to be a gaming PC. Like this laptop here isn't even a gaming laptop, yet I can play almost every game on it smoothly. So you can also save a few dollars doing that way. But just so you know, it might not have as good of a cooling system. So also keep that in mind. That's the only difference between a non-gaming and a gaming computer, pretty much. So with that in mind, people are like, well, going PC is just so much more expensive. And I'm just like, oh, really? Because, all right, let's do the math here. So let's say you're one of those people that thinks you're saving money by doing $10 a month. Well, that's another $120 out of your pocket per year versus just paying the annual fee. So for somebody like that, and you've kept your console for 8 years, probably, that is, fuck. I'm going to do the math on this. I'm not going to do it in my head. It... 20. So that's after a span of 8 years of paying $120 per year. That by itself, without the console, is $960. $960, which means if you only, let's say, paid the subscription feed and only downloaded free games or free games after paying an annual fee, so it's actually not for free. After doing that, at the very least, without getting, let's say, the PS4 Pro after that launched, that is still over $1,200. That's that's over $1,300 right there. And if you literally just got PC, the internet access on most sites is free, like on Steam and Good Old Games. It's free. You don't have to pay an extra annual fee to play with your friends. And the games are much cheaper, and the microtransactions are much cheaper as well. You could also sometimes, for let's say GTA 5, find sites that give you better deals than the regular site itself for shark cards. Now, this is just one way that they're just screwing you completely out of your money. So instead of just paying, let's say, $500 for the PS4, which would probably be closer to its base price, you are paying, I mean, even with this annual fee, it's over $1,000. So let's say, I mean, let's just say you bought the PS4 and then you bought the PS4 Pro afterwards, and that only came out like what, a couple years after the PS4. That's, I mean, fuck. I can't do math nearly as well as I used to. So, out of all the out of all these annual fees that you're making throughout the 8 years, that's an extra $480 throughout the entirety that you have it. I'm doing it by 8 years because that's just pretty average for console generations. So that's extra $480. I mean, that is still, I mean, shit, that's about the same amount of money as when you try doing it like $10 a month and everything. Either way, you're paying, even if let's say you got the PS4 Pro first or something, and you just paid this annual fee, that's still nearly $1,000. Right there. I'd say within $100, that's like nearly $1,000. Like that. And also, like I said, the games, especially for download, are more expensive. This is the reason why I've tried staying with like physical purchases, with the games with the disc instead of the download, because the download lots of times tends to still be its base price, where it's like I could just go to GameStop and pay $20 less for the physical copy instead. Well, even then, I'll find it on Steam, especially on a Steam sale. I'll find it for like another $20 less on Steam than the physical copy, if you know what I'm saying. So I always just think it's so funny how people just act like going console is cheaper, because I hate to tell you guys, but it's not. Now, I wish they would, at the very least, sell these consoles at the correct retail price, because with them not doing that and them giving you annual fees like this, like yearly fees, I mean, in the long run, you're losing out even more money over the years. Just a ton of money. I mean, it's like I've said before, you might as well just get a PC at this point with this kind of money. And with the PS5, I know they're probably going to come out like something like a PS5 Pro or something. And like I said, they're going to jack up the price on the annual fee because less and less people are doing console because they're tired of dealing with their bullshit. Now, of course, if you, for any reason, want to stay with console, I mean, I'm not going to stop you. But I've actually been talking about this with my friends, and even most of them actually do agree with me that it is fucking bullshit. The way that they are literally getting screwed out of their money with these annual fees. Like, they really are. It's just fucking ridiculous. Instead of, having them pay the right retail price to get money off these consoles, they're having you pay even more money with this. Now just think about what I said before you decide to stay with console and get a PS5. With that being said, it's 15 minutes now. I will stop this video, and again, think about what I said, ask any questions, etc. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.